I think in this market, property news is a bit slow. If you remember, about 1 year ago, almost every week, you will find anything from 5 to 10 news articles in Business Line, Straits Times, or 联合早报 about property. Now it's a bit slower. So one of the biggest news that came out last week was about this new master plan, which has been, people have been waiting for it for quite a while. So today, these are the 5 chapters that we will go through. Introduction about the CBD incentive plans, homes in the CBD, comparing the new master plan, which is still a draft master plan, and the old one, and other plans that is part of the master plan. Okay, what is the master plan? Basically, the master plan lists out what the government plans to do for the development of Singapore in the real estate terms, okay, for the next 5 years. But of course, they have this plan for the next 10 to 15 years. The master plan is reviewed every 5 years. Right? What is plot ratio? Basically, okay, this is a formula. Plot ratio, you want to look at another way, is that if you take your land area, multiply by your plot ratio, that is how much the floor area your land can produce. Okay, so the higher the plot ratio, the more GFA, gross floor area, it can be produced. It can be constructed. And therefore, in a way, it becomes more valuable. In 2019, they just simply say, okay, the plot ratio will be adjusted, taking into account the plot ratio applicable to the same 5 MRT stations. Okay? So what we did is, my department is that we go and do a case study. We go and test a few properties to see whether or not there is really any increase in the plot ratio. One of them which selected was Ion Orchard. Ion Orchard, in the 2014 master plan, the plot ratio was 5.6 plus. The new one, they put 6.3. So we did the calculation. Under the old master plan, the plot ratio was 6.72. The new master plan, 6.3. So there's actually a drop in the plot ratio allowable. But then again, Ion Orchard unlikely to be torn down for en bloc sale, right, in the next couple of years, next 5 years. So never mind, just like the developer already enjoyed the higher plot ratio already. Another one, 313 at Somerset, another case study. Under the old master plan, 5.36, 5.6. So there is an increase in plot ratio. But again, 313 Somerset, will it be redeveloped? Not very sure yet. Orchard Central, chances is that it won't be redeveloped. But there is an increase in the plot ratio from 5.39 to 5.6, the new one. Maybe they can, if 5 years one, they can think about how they can add more space to it or something, add another floor somewhere if the structure allows to increase the GFA. So the question, did plot ratio really increase in the new master plan? Only for a few private land parcels, okay? And there are those that tend to be in the CBD. Okay, I'll explain a bit why I think the government is doing this. Just to let you know also, my team also did a test of 50 condominiums, apartments that are more than 10 years old. And then we test their plot ratios between the old one and the new master plan. Out of the 50, guess how many of them, condo, residential, pure residential. Some of them is a bit mixed, residential with shops on the ground floor. Guess how many of them got increase in plot ratio? May I guess? Huh? Yeah, none. 0. We test 50 over of them. And this is all outside the CBD. These are all potential en bloc sales area. Nothing. No increase in plot ratio. Create a lot of fanfare and say that we are going to have more housing in the CBD. Okay, more housing. They keep using this phrase, work, live, and play in the CBD. Okay, let's see what are the plans they have first. What they want is to have introduce. Okay, Orchard Road actually is quite vibrant already, but they want CBD, Pearls Hill, Marina Bay, and so on. They want to have urban neighborhood, waterfront housing along Rochor Canal. Actually, Rochor, you do have people because got shops down there in the so on weekends you do have quite a number of people. York Hill and Pearls Hill, okay, to have some hillside enclaves. So they want to create amenities such as childcare center, affordable food, and so on. People-friendly street, car light, So they use terms like that in some of these areas. Okay. One of them is that they want, like I mentioned, they want a place to be 24/7, to have more places for a vibrant place to live and play in. Okay, so they want to encourage conversion of older office buildings into mixed-use development. And they open the application to 3 selected areas. And the 3 selected areas are Anson, Cecil Street, and the Robinson Road, Shenton Way, Tanjong Pagar area. Okay, these are the 3 areas where they already demarcate out in red lines. If your building is within this area, you can get certain incentives. But there are also conditions to be eligible. Number 1, it must be more than 20 years old from the date of the TOP for all 3 of them. Number 2 is that they must be predominantly office building. So if your building is already a residential building there, chances is you can't get any, it won't qualify. The other thing is that the minimum size, depending on the location, between 1,000 square meters to 2,000 square meters. So there comes the question is that, what is the likely type of housing that can result from this? It's already a commercial building. The price per square feet is already very high, mostly above $2,000 per square feet. If they redevelop it, add more development cost to it, how much do you think the residential price is going to be? More or less? Chances is that it's more. So you're going to have highly expensive condominiums that might come out. Another one is that if the per square feet is going to be $2,000 over to $3,000 per square feet, to make it saleable, chances is that the developer will build small units, right? Yeah, chances are. Because anyway, some of them might not even need to build minimum size 85 square meters. They are in the downtown area, they can build small format units. So chances is that it will be small format units, 1 bedroom, shoebox apartment for singles or couples. So will more housing in the CBD really bring more life to the CBD? In a way, in my opinion, is that it's going to be a bit more of the same. We already have this type of buildings in the existing CBD. So there will be more of such things. And the economics reality is that the building value is already quite high. To convert it into residential development, we are going to see only either investors or rich individuals buying it. To the average Singaporean who's working, or resident, Singaporean or PR, who's working right now in Raffles Place, Shenton Way, and so on average, majority of them have to go, they move in the morning, right? Take MRT, whatever, go to the city. After work, they go out to HDB estate. Majority of them live in HDB estates. Okay, that's typical. 83% of Singaporeans live in HDB estate. So chances is that unless the government were to build HDB flats in the downtown area, your average Singaporean cannot afford this housing in the downtown area. So is the government likely to build public housing in the CBD? Just about 1 week ago, I was invited by MediaCorp Radio to do a live talk show at between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. And we are talking about this topic, housing in the CBD, after the Masterplan was released. And we got callers, live callers that call up. So I have to think on my feet because I cannot anticipate what kind of question they are going to ask. It's live, The moment they talk on the phone, I have to just respond. And majority of them actually is against. There were 3 callers who called out, and all 3 of them are not in favor of building HDB flats in the downtown area. They say it's a lottery effect. Once you build such flats, a lot of people will apply. Let's say 50 people apply, only 1 person get that flat. 49 people will be disappointed, right? So, and then the 1 person who buy it, 5 years after the 5-year MOP, wow, bonanza, right? So it's a lottery effect. So they feel that it's unfair, especially to use taxpayers' money to build a HDB flat, sell it, and then someone else win the lottery. But if you sell it at a very high price, this HDB flat 5 room, instead of selling at 500,000, 600, I sell it at 800,000 HDB. Then people will complain also, wow, your HDB flat only for the rich, not for your average Singaporean. So either way, it's going to be a lose-lose situation.